Hey there, you wonderful listeners. I have a question for you. Do you want to make a podcast? Well, Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily and then distribute it everywhere and even earn money all in one place and for free. How can you beat that? It's called Spotify for Podcasters. And here is how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify. And when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, there are Q&A and poll options available, and those are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free with no catch. Ever since I've discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it has made doing my shows like the Steam Machine Podcast, Yabs Pod, and the JRPG Report much, much easier to do. Like being able to just go on there, record them, upload it, boom, it's done. I don't have to pay for a site service to host or anything like that. It's fantastic. So I highly recommend that you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started today.
Welcome to the Steam Machine Podcast. With your hosts, Dalton and Ryan.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Steam Machine Podcast. My name is Dalton, and joining me as always is my good buddy.
This is Ryan.
And man, we got a lot of reviews from people, not like literal reviews, although I did see that we got another 5-star review on iTunes from our buddy Nate Turtle Bear Man. So thank you, Nate, which we'll be bringing him up again here shortly. But man, we got a lot of reactions to that story I told about my uncle.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people think it was hilarious. And they want me to. Like one person, even I think it was Dave, was like, dude, you need to have your uncle on and ask him, why did he not go, why did he stop? And I'm like, so I was taking him to Jacksonville the other day, and I asked him, I said, so people want to know, man, like, why didn't you continue? And he was just like, I don't know, man, it freaked me out. He's like, I didn't know what to do. So really, that's all you're gonna get out of him is he was not expecting it, and it freaked him out, and yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I did not see any gaming news this week. Well, not much. I saw something about the Pog champion on Twitch getting in trouble and his emote get taken away. I didn't look too much into it though.
I didn't see much really going on either, as far as like gaming goes.
Yeah, I don't know. I do have another story. And this will be the last one I tell like this for a while. This is I'm going to call this my application for a guest show on Tadpog, because I've got a bunch of stories like this, but I don't know if I want to tell them all on here yet. But this one's raunchy. I'm going to throw out there. So if you don't want to hear a raunchy story,
oh man,
skip ahead 5-6 minutes and we'll start talking about other stuff. Maybe even less than that. I don't know. Okay, so when I was younger, I knew this girl, we'll call her Angela. That's not a real name, but we'll call her Angela. I'll never remember that, but hopefully I do. So she was one of my good friends, and she had a fine older sister. And I was really interested in this older sister. Well, Angela tells me, oh, well, you don't have a chance with her. Like, not at all. So I took that as a challenge and proceeded to woo this older sister. And she came over for a party one night. And it was me, Dustin, and a couple other people here. We were building a pyramid of beer cans because we were just pounding through them, right? It was a good party. So she takes me, there's nobody home, so she takes me into one of the rooms in my house and, like, we start making out. And I'm like, all right, this is cool. And she just pulls away and looks at me and goes, show it to me. I was like, well, what do you mean? I mean, at the moment, I'm just like, I know what you're talking about, but I don't want to just, like, whip my dick out and be wrong. So I wanted, like, confirmation, you know? What are you talking about? She's like, show me that dick. So I was like, all right. So I pulled my dick out, right? She grabs it, licks it like a lollipop, walks out of the room. And I'm like, what? what just happened? So at this point, I'm like, nah. So I went in there, I grabbed her. We ended up, doing it, whatever. So before she leaves that night, we end up doing it one more time on the back of her truck, like over her tailgate, like true redneck Keystone fashion. You know what I'm saying? Yeehaw, motherfucker. And she heads home. So this continues for like a few months. I was just laying the bricks for the story. So she calls me one night, and she says, hey, come over to my house right now. And I'm like, all right. So I hop in my truck. I drive over there. It's not very far. And I show up. She meets me outside, and we go inside. And as we walk in, like, her dad's there. Now, this girl's older than me, but she was living at home at the time. And her dad's there. And I waved to him, and me and her go into her room, which is like a door and a half away from where her dad's at. So I sit down on the bed. She pours me a shot. She was drinking some nasty-ass, really strong liquor. And pours me a shot of it. I take the shot of it, and she shuts her door and locks it, twirls around on one foot like a ballerina, and looks at me and goes, so, you want to fuck? And of course, I'm like, well, yeah, let's do it. Sure. Right? So here's where it gets interesting. So we're doing the thing, and she is the first girl who has ever requested this. She goes, come on my fucking face. And I was like, whoa, all right. So whenever, it was that time, she gets down, and I do the thing. She gets the stuff, and she then proceeds to stand up, walk over to her door, turn the light on, go to her mirror, and start looking at herself with it all over the place in the mirror, and starts dancing, and turns up the music and starts dancing, and she's just dancing around the room with a jizz-covered face. And brother, let me tell you, I still don't know how to react to that. Like, at the time, I sat there, and it was like one of those moments where I was just like, I was just like, what do I do? And then she ended up like cleaning up, and then we did more shots, and then I went home, and I've never forgotten that, ever. I'm like, what the fuck was that? What happened? But yeah, and then I don't know, 6 or 7 years later, her brother killed somebody, and got arrested for it. So it was wild. It was wild. This little town is fucking nuts. And I've got plenty of stories. Not all of them are dirty, but I've got plenty of stories about this town. If listeners want to hear more random shit that I have done throughout my life, I will more than be happy to share more stories. Just let me know. Facebook, Discord, all that jazz. Game Buds night, since I know a lot of you listen that are Game Buds, fellow Game Buds. Which, by the way, I spent most of my day today working on a new album, and I actually named one of the songs in a tribute to Game Buds, because I've really been enjoying Game Buds night every Thursday with the Tadpog crew.
That's cool.
Hey man, oh man, brother. Speaking of, you have got to get Golf with Your Friends. What a fucking blast that game was, because everybody's trying to make their shots, but you can like shoot the ball and hit someone's ball and knock them off and make them and fuck them all up. And
that sounds
dude,
cool.
it is super fun. We were just it was like 10 of us, maybe 8, 9 of us cussing at each other for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just like, oh fuck you, what the fuck. And then when somebody got a cool shot, we were like, oh shit, because there were some cool shots that you could be had in that game. So it was really cool, man. I'd love to get you in on that one Thursday night, have you meet the crew, because I know you've talked to them, but you've never like spoken to them.
Yeah.
So it would be cool. Now, speaking of Game Buds, the guy who actually started Game Buds was our good buddy Nate. If you may know him in the Discord as Turtle Bear Man. He actually bought us a game that he would like to hear us do an episode on. So our next episode is going to be on Hollow Knight.
Oh, nice.
And I wrote him when I told him, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Like, I was baffled, and I'm sure you are too, that like people want to buy us a game to hear us talk about it. Like, that blew my fucking mind. I'm like, oh my God, people, they really like us. They really, really like us.
We're getting there. We're getting
slowly but surely. But I wrote him on Discord. I said, why do I feel like this game's gonna hand me my own ass? And he goes, because
I saw that.
He's like, it probably is. It's known for being super difficult, but I've heard it's really good. He said it's one of his favorite games.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking we're gonna have another Cuphead or Wonder Boy type situation where it's hard but satisfying. So I'm looking forward to that. So that'll be next week. We'll be doing Hollow Knight, and then I'm gonna dump you into Trails in the Sky. And then once Trails in the Sky's over, Steamy's coming back out, and we're back to running him every week. I'm gonna have his voice up and running by then. It'll be fun. But this week we played Cyberdimension Neptunia 4 Goddesses Online, which is a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
But
It is a mouthful.
all of their titles are like that. You know, it's like Mega Tag mentioned Blonde and Neptune versus Zombies and things like, you know, all of the games have random fucking long ass names. But I personally had a blast with this.
This game was fun. It was. I got lost in it a little bit. Like, you know me with dialogue, especially with the way this storyline was progressing was very similar to Hyperdimension.
Action Unleashed.
Yeah. I tuned out pretty quick. But I did get lost in like the action part of the game. It was a great like hack and slash style game.
Man, yeah, and I think that's why I like it. It reminds this game's combat reminds me of like a simplified Ys 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
I get that.
It would be it would be up there on my hack and slash list. I don't know if it would be in the top 10, but it's up there. Like it's really fun.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's definitely up there for sure, but it's
Oh, go ahead.
like the thing with me is like I'll probably revisit this game, but not for the storyline aspect of this game. It's the same. It's the same for Action Unleashed. Like I want to go back and slay thousands of zombies or like thousands of enemies in a minute. Like,
yeah, dude, those were.
I'll probably revisit this game just for the pure like combat aspect.
So, for people who are unaware, the Neptunia series, you play as the protagonist Neptune. She is the leader of Planet Neptune, and she is, I don't know what you'd call it, sentient in the fact that she knows she's in a video game. She breaks the fourth wall and talks to you as the player all the time. Like,
yeah, fourth wall breaker.
Anytime they introduce somebody new, she's like, all right, time for me to introduce this person. And then she gives you like a rundown of who they are and why they are in this game. And so the gist of this game is you and the other CPUs, which is Noir, that runs Last Station, Blonde, that runs Louis, and Vert, who runs Leanbox. All of you are playing an MMO together. So you are playing them playing an MMO. Yeah. So it's levels, it's layers like an onion, you know. And the layers may only be like an inch deep, but that's fine. I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
So they each, you know, are talking about, well, Neptune went Paladin, Noir went like Dark Knight, Blonde's the healer, and Vert is like some sort of damage dealer. I don't know. Dude, Vert is probably my favorite character in this particular game.
Vert I used a lot of.
She is hilarious in her dialogue. I know you were skipping a lot of it, but
she was no, I caught a lot of her dialogue because she was just so fucking catty. Like,
yeah,
I loved the sassiness that Vert had this game. It was fantastic.
And that's basically because she is the gamer of the group. Like they all play games and stuff, but Vert is the one that they think she plays MMOs 24/7. Like, her and her MMO crew stated at one point that they only log off the game for maintenance. Like, that's the only time they log out once a week, and it's for maintenance. So that's funny. The kind of gamer she is. Now, the story of the MMO that they're playing is about the goddesses defeated a dark god, and they sealed it away, and now you need these items to help unseal the goddess. Very reminiscent of Fairy Fencer F Advent Dark Force, which is by the same people. It's by the same companies. So I think maybe they're doing like a little ode to that. Like people who have played Fairy Fencer would kind of catch that. Which Fairy Fencer I beat while I was at your house last year for Christmas, and I would really like to have that come up on the list at some point. It's on there, so I know it will at some point. But that's a really fun game. But Vert also at one point mentions that, you know, she's been playing MMOs for a long time, and she used to play this MMO back in the day, and she had a partner that she always played the game with who also she played a male, and her partner also played a male, but she had a very sneaking suspicion that her partner was a female behind the character because, of course, you know, females want to play. Vert wants to play a male because like she wants something to look at for the next 300 hours. Like she's like, I could make a girl or I could make a sexy guy that I could look at, you know, and everything, which made me laugh because I've heard that argument from dudes online. Like, I play girls because like I like to have something to look at while I'm playing. It's like, look at a dude's butt or look at a girl's butt. So I thought it was hilarious that they flipped that argument around, threw it in the game for that, right? She was talking about how she was a silver fox in the game, and her friend was like this tall, dark, and handsome type, right? So a little bit later on, Neptune's talking to Noir, and Noir is talking about this old MMO that she used to play, that she was pretty sure that the guy that she played with was a female playing a guy, but she was also playing a guy. And then she describes her character as a tall, dark, and handsome type, and this guy that she was talking about was a silver fox. And I'm like, and then Neptune's like, looks at the camera type thing, and she's like, where have I heard this before? It turns out that, like, Blonde had a character. So, like, all three of them were playing this MMO together at one point and didn't know that it was the other one. It was
Wow.
great. And I am relatively certain, because they talked about how this MMO that they're talking about started on PC and then was ported over to Last Station's console, right? The only game that I can think of that had that happen was Final Fantasy XI. It started on PC, and then it got moved to PS2 whenever PS2 got that adapter for the back that you could do online gaming. That was how I first started playing Final Fantasy XI. So immediately I'm like, my little fanboy heart was like, oh shit, that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Which also led me to later laugh that, of course, Dogoos made a return, which are Dragon Quest slimes, but instead of the slime face, you have the little dog face.
Yeah.
And there's enemies that are big flying gold birds called Chocobas. Not Chocobos, but Chocobas. And I had a quest to kill a bunch of them, and it just made me laugh. This whole series is just a trope. It is just a whole series poking fun at JRPGs while being a JRPG.
It's super satirical while maintaining like the main aspects of being what they're making fun of.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I really do.
And there was one character, the Akiria. So there's two characters. There's like Princess Cat New or whatever her name was. I don't know. She was very annoying. And Kiria. And let me go ahead and say, Kiria looks a hell of a lot like Kirito from Sword Art Online. And it's actually a girl. I thought it was a dude until they started referring to it as her. And I was like, oh, all right. So I guess it's a girl in real life that's playing. I don't know if she's playing a guy character or if it's just a more dude-looking girl. I don't know. Whatever her avatar is. But they're a pain in my ass. Full disclosure, have not beat this game, which is impressive because I didn't think it was going to be as long as it is, but it's pretty fucking long.
Yeah, no, it's a lot longer than I thought too. I thought we were talking maybe like, what was it, like 10 to 12 hours?
Yeah, I think it's more like 17 to 20.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I probably put in close to 9 if I didn't hit 9 altogether, and I still don't feel like I'm close to the end.
But it's funny how it emulates like MMO gameplay too, because you go to the guild and you get quests, and it'll just be like, go to this place and get this many items. You know what I mean? Like an MMO would.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to run that level 2 or 3 times to get enough items that you need. You know, it's so they kept that MMO grind aspect in there, which I enjoyed. You know, it brought me back to my days of grinding.
Yeah, I enjoyed the grinding aspect too.
Oh man, one other note that I have that cracked me up, and I don't know if you caught this because I know you were skipping dialogue, but Rom and Ram, right? They're adorable.
I love them.
They're 11.
I love them. I love them in this game. Like they were some of my favorites on Action Unleashed, but Ram and Ram killed me this game.
Yeah, there's one's a samurai and one's a ninja.
Yeah,
I think it's Ram's the ninja and Ram's the samurai, I believe.
Yeah, Ram's the samurai and Ram's the ninja.
So, do you remember that Hercules episode with Kevin Sorbo when he was like playing evil Hercules and he was supposed to just emote that he was disappointed and he just goes, disappointed, right? So Rom does that in this game. Whenever when she does an emote, she says it out loud. She'd be like, I'm nervous, shiver. And all kinds of stuff. Dude, it cracks me up every single time. And then it's funny because people in the game, it'll like show the goddesses and the CPU candidates standing around, and other people will be talking. They'll be like, man, those really look like the goddesses. But there's no way that the goddesses are playing an online video game. They don't have time for that. Like, but it really is. They just made their characters look like them. They just must be CPU stands. I love it.
Yeah.
So we had some listener questions. Let me pull those up real quick. I don't think we had too many of them, but let's see. Kana wants to know, who is best girl?
Who is best girl?
Who is best girl?
From From the game?
Yeah.
Oh man, this game in particular, I loved Vert. I think Vert.
I still
I
have
don't
to
know.
say.
I did like Bouquet and the Bouncy.
Oh my God, that's right. So
The Bouncy.
let's finish this, then we'll talk about the Bouncy. I still think it's Neptune. I love Neptune to death. She cracks me the fuck up more than anybody. But
Yeah.
I would give you that Vert is a close second just because of how hilarious she is. And so the interaction. So Bouquet is an NPC in the game, right? And Vert does not have a little sister. All the other girls have a little sister. So Vert is always searching for a girl to be her little sister, and she's always trying to just make Nepgear her little sister. She's like, I take Nepgear and Uni and Ram and Ram, they're mine, and then y'all just don't have little sisters. And they're like, no, that's not how it works. So they find Bouquet, and Vert is immediately enamored with Bouquet, and she goes up and grabs her and just like hugs her close. Now, Vert is a buxom woman. Is that the word? She's
I would call that.
She's got huge boobs, just massive, and she pulls in Bouquet for a hug, and Bouquet's character just shivers, and she's like, "Oh, it's so warm. The bouncy, I don't know what to do." And then she just gets a slight little nosebleed and then like backs up and is like, I have to go, and then disappears. But it's like that happens all the time, and hearing her always refer to the bouncy is hysterical because that character just is like, I don't know how to handle this situation.
No, I died every single time. Every single time the bouncy came out, I had to like stop the game for a second to catch myself from laughing. Like,
oh my goodness. So another question came in from our buddy James, who I actually sent a spoiler-free little review of this for the JRPG report. Why does this game series have such a special place in your heart? Now, I think this might be more directed at me.
Yeah, for sure.
So I kind of explained this in his video for people who don't listen to the JRPG report. One, shame on you, and two, this game is very lighthearted. Like, this whole series is very lighthearted. It is there to poke fun at the games we love and make you laugh the entire way through, while also being fun. The gameplay is fun, whether you're playing one of the turn-based games or one of these action RPGs. I just thoroughly, and I think there's even a strategy RPG based on Noir that we have. Hyper Devotion Noir, I think is what it's called. I really enjoy. So say we play something like Devotion, like that shit I sent you earlier today, right?
Yeah, no, I'm good. Pass.
Which we have the game he talked about, Detention, that was in the beginning of that video that I sent you. We have that game in the library. So Devotion you can't get on Steam anymore, but I found it, so I have it. So I might add it to the list. I might just play that in my own time. I don't know. It looks really cool, but it is a taxingly depressing game. And after that, sometimes I need a palate cleanser. It's like when I would watch Black Mirror. I would go from Black Mirror to like an episode of Family Guy to just cleanse myself of depression. So Neptunia has kind of become that to me. It's become like the cleanser. Like after I play something really serious and just sad, it's like I can throw on Neptunia and get some fucking laughs and get my serotonin back up. I think that's what it is, serotonin, the happiness.
Yeah, I see that. That's something I could definitely use this series for too, especially if we draw some like serious horror games or anything like that. Super sad games. Something like this would be definitely fun to throw on. Now, Neptune is hilarious. Like you were saying.
I had a friend bring up to me in a message that people like to accuse fans of this series of being pedophiles. And I was like, what? How? And, thinking about it, I don't agree with that. I could see how people would come to that. But there's no sex. There's no nudity. And I would say the game is raunchy humor at best. Like, just because the characters are anime girls, I don't know. I think that's a little judgy on people's part, personally. But... I feel like if you're a fan of anime, you probably aren't going to think that because you're used to the Japanese, just the way that their animation styles and their caricatures are, you know what I mean? It's
just that hypersexualized anime style.
Yeah, it's, that's a culture thing. I mean, so I don't know. I don't know how to, describe that, but I mean, I don't think that, and I don't think other people should think that. But you can make your own decisions from playing the game. I don't think that should detract from it, but I did want to bring that up, that there is like a little stigma around this series that I just think is dumb. I don't agree with that at all. Let's see, what else? I think that's about it for Cyberdimension. Like, there's not much to it. It's just a hell of a lot of a fun. What the fuck does that even mean? a hell of a lot of a fun. Oh God, I can't talk. Too stoned for this, Ryan. Get it, play it. I'm sure it's not super expensive. I see the Neptunia series on sale on Steam all the time for stupid cheap.
All the time, I see it up there.
So I can imagine it goes on sale decently on the PlayStation 4 as well, which is where this game originated. Was on the PlayStation 4.
Says it's $30 on Steam.
$30? That's not bad. And that's normal price, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know like everything good is no longer on sale on Steam because they just did that long ass sale.
Oh, the deluxe bundle is only $32.
Oh, that's not bad at all. It's not bad at all.
Right.
So 'tis the season of sales. So I added a bunch more games to the library.
Oh yeah, what did we get?
So I added Super Neptunia RPG, which is a another spin-off and is very different. So it'll be fun when we finally get to that. Europa, and it's Youropa. And it's like a platformer where you can walk up walls, so it's like a 3D platformer type thing.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 11,
Nice.
which is 106 gigabytes, by the way. And I was like, holy shit.
Ooh, good thing I have the fucking terabyte external.
I know, dude. I'm going to have to get me another external thing, because my little 500 gigabyte one that I've got, I have more than that, but I need to replace my 500 gigabyte one with a terabyte one, I think.
I got the 4 terabyte external.
Yeah.
So I think I'm good for a while, but I know when I do my PC build, I'm getting that 10 terabyte bank I saw.
Yeah, you should also look into getting an SSD for the inside, so everything will load faster. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, which is like a hack and slash Metal Gear game where you play as Raiden.
That's cool.
Grid 2, which is a sequel to Grid 1, obviously, is a racing series.
Yeah.
Hollow Knight, again, thank you, Nate. We'll be playing that next week, or this, actually, I guess, today forward.
Yeah.
Oh, man, a game that's free. This is a free game on Steam, and I played this when I was, like, way young, like Windows 98 days. Snood. It's like they're like these shapes with faces, and you have to shoot them up. It's like those old. It's like the beginning of the bubble popping games. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
interesting.
Oh man, so good. Probably won't ever do a show on that, but just know that I love it, and you all should check it out. And it's free. It's great.
No.
Golf with your friends. I got that to play with the Game Buds, like I was saying earlier. Game is fantastic. System Shock 1 and 2. I think that those games are slightly related to the BioShock series, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I've heard nothing but good things about System Shock 1 and 2, so I figured I'd snag those while they were cheap. The Castlevania Anniversary Collection.
Nice.
Which I think is like Castlevania 1, 2, I don't know. It's a bunch of them. Doesn't have
That's
doesn't
cool.
have Symphony of the Night, which pains me, but I can always emulate that one. I also got every Unreal Tournament game. So
Nice.
There's a collection on Steam for like $40 or so, and I went onto this other site that had it on sale for $7 for the entire collection. So now we have Unreal Tournament 2004, Unreal Tournament 3, Black Edition, and then Unreal Gold and Unreal 2 The Awakening, which are not tournament games. Those are like story-driven games, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So I think that's it that I've added recently. I was really happy about the Unreal Tournament games because I love Unreal Tournament so much. That is probably my favorite shooter series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Trying to think of what else. I've just been fucking working on the album today. So sorry if I'm a bit scatterbrained, everyone.
No, it's everyone's got their days. You know how it is.
Yeah, but Cyberdimension Neptunia, 4 Goddesses Online. Highly recommended if you're into fun games. You want to have some fun. I give it 8.5 out of 10 Nep-Neps.
The Nep-Neps. Bringing back the Nep-Neps. I'm gonna go like 7.75.
I can.
I think it's a really good game. It's a good game.
It's a.
And it might go up based on how the ending goes when I get there. But I do plan on finishing this game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it wraps up for sure. But I don't think it warrants a second episode. So next week we will be covering Hollow Knight, and that'll be fun. I look forward to it. Maybe I'll even bug Nate to guest on the show with us or something.
Yeah.
Well, then, if you would like to find us on social media, you can go to facebook.com/Steam Machine Podcast, or you can search the Steam Machine Podcast Lounge on Facebook, and you will find our group that you can join. It's small, but a very eclectic group of wonderful people. You can find us on Twitter at Steam_podcast. I try to be active on there, Facebook, and in Discord. Our Discord link is posted in the pinned post at the top of our Facebook page and group, along with our Threadless page, where you can pick up Steam Machine Podcast merch or Nile the Nightmare merch, which is my music stuff. So, whatever floats your boat, it's all there. New album should be coming out soon. You catch Nile the Nightmare on Bandcamp, and I think that's done. I think I'm done plugging a bunch of shit. As always, if you like our show, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes. We would really appreciate that. We're up to 7 5-star reviews, so
woo,
that's cool.
We're almost to rookie numbers.
Yeah, right. I'm looking forward to get it to 10. Get it to 10, and I will give away another Steam key. So we need 3 more. So
that's a good challenge.
That's
a good challenge.
Looking forward to having that happen. And, in between our episodes, if you want to check out some other people that I personally love, you can give the JRPG Report a check out. Is a great podcast for all your JRPG news. Like, James is the man. If you like the idea of what we do, check out Tadpog. They do like a randomized thing, but they're covering all the Super Nintendo games that were released in America. So, they're going to be at this just as long as us.
Yeah.
Just as long as us. They've been at it for a while now.
Just as long, for sure.
And Factory Sealed, man. Love those guys. I slept through today's Among Us session, and I'm very upset about it, so I apologize to anybody who was looking forward to me being there. I know Mike probably missed what he calls my quote-unquote sexy voice, but I missed you guys too. Anyways, so Hollow Knight next week. Looking forward to get my ass handed to me for the next 7 days. Nate, I'll be hitting you up, buddy. And anything else, brother?
No, I'm ready to jump into this next game.
Yeah, I'm thinking Hollow Knight will have a little more depth to it than Cyberdimension Neptunia did, so we might have more to talk about.
Yeah, probably for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, as always, guys, he's Ryan. I'm Dalton, and as always, take it easy. Department of Redundancy Department said, as always, twice.
Facebook.com/The Steam Machine Podcast, or search Facebook and join our group, the Steam Machine Podcast Lounge. You can also find us on Twitter at Steam_Podcast. We thank everyone for listening, and as always, we'll catch you